All right, welcome everybody. My name is Alex. I work as the country manager for Serviceform here in Sweden. I'm tuning in from beautiful Stockholm today. And the agenda for today is Meta. So we're going to discuss a lot of stuff related to Meta and how you can use that in, well, maybe even the end of the year, but especially going into 2025. And with me, I have two fine gentlemen. We have Jarkko Oksanen from Serviceform, and then we have Antti Salmi from Lokitime. And I think let's start off with a short round of introductions. So Jarkko, besides having nice hair and insane coding skills, who are you and what do you do?
Hello, I'm Jarkko. I'm the co-founder of Serviceform. I've been a nerd since a child, and everything internet has been my life. So that's pretty much me. I've done multiple. I've been in multiple startups, multiple bigger companies as well, and learned a lot of things on the way. And in the last 7 years, I've been focusing on the chatbot conversion and forms and everything to do with converting your lead, and that's my top specialty right now. And in this chat, I'll be mostly on the conversion side of things, also a little bit related to how do you run ads and all of that, but mostly my experience is on the after leads, remarketing, and retargeting process.
Yeah. We got to make sure we get the value out of all that ad spending as well. And then we have Antti. Besides having a nice beard and good marketing skills, what do you do and who are you?
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to meet you as well. During these days, I work as a growth manager in Lokitime. I'm basically responsible for doing inbound marketing, then getting the leads to become as actual customers. So I'm responsible for the entire ROI of marketing, but also doing general growth. And my past has been in multiple startups. I started in 2017 and then ran up to this famous agency in Finland called Truly Agency, where I have been managing multiple clients, started as a growth lead there, and then got myself in focusing, also on the ad side, but also managing the leads and turning them to actual customers through the CRM, doing the lead validation, nurturing, etc. Also have been working on websites with big corporations like Kone as well, IPF Digital, etc. But here my thing is to talk about meta ads. I've seen businesses having lots of trouble with it during the past autumn, but my clients in Truly as well. So I will be helping out to you to get the best out of it in 2025.
Are you more B2B or B2C on the ads side or both?
I've been mostly with my own clients in B2B side, but also some things hands-on the B2C as well, handling e-commerces as our clients in Truly.
Cool.
All right. Sounds like we have a good bunch of people and experience in attendance today. And for everybody tuning in, also, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat. We'll try to pick up everything as long as we go. But yeah, let's maybe start off with a poll. To kick things off. You should be getting a poll now. Can you guys see it? Is it live? So the question is, what do you think the most effective platform is to advertise your business? Let's wait for a couple of more answers. We're getting a lot of answers on social media. Not a shocker. Communication platforms also growing. One on other. I think, yeah, still a few coming in. Social media, huge leader right now with 10 answers or votes. 11. All right. Jarkko, which one did you pick and why?
I, of course, I'm a strong believer in TV advertising and radio, which is just kidding. My favorite is communication platforms, just because that is the one I know deeply. So I know WhatsApp deeply, and I know email B2B and B2C marketing, and I know how to get results there. So that's my pick. But that is not for everyone, and it's not for every business. Know for a lot of companies, all of the other options are fantastic. And social media is very powerful, and there's a lot of good things you can do there as well. But for me, I would pick the communication platforms.
All right. Interesting. What about Antti? Which one did you pick?
Yeah, I'm not a single channel guy. I'm on omni-channel guy. But from these options, if we think about like you're starting marketing or you're facing some troubles or doing new testing, the social media is the way to go because you have to do proper testing there. But yeah, also the others like doing email marketing, well, Google and AI search ads, they're really relevant once your business is known and you're delivering traffic to your website through those. But then keeping the touch points in multiple channels, I also agree that TV commercials and having like radio ads is important as well during these days. But well, omni-channel, but start with Meta or other social media channels.
All right. One more question for you guys. What would be the downside of the platform you chose then?
The downside from my side, if I, of course, as well, all the other channels are very valid. But if I'm looking at the communication platforms, the downside is that it's not for everyone. Like if you're doing, let's say, email outbound marketing, you cannot do that anymore in B2C the way that you could do it before GDPR. Same thing with, like, let's say, outbound WhatsApp. You cannot be very, very tough with that. You need to follow certain rules, and that is definitely a problem. So, but for B2B, I think it's one of the top ways. Emails are still one of the top ways to get in touch with people, and WhatsApp is a new exciting way to make sure that your message gets read.
Yeah. What about Antti? What would you say is the downside of social media? Or
well, for B2C, there aren't actually that many downsides as you can test a lot of ad types over there. But if we think about, for example, like for B2B, if you're having a small audience, then you should do like proper testing in other platforms that you have like specific lists of people you contact, or you do specific email marketing to those. So it's not for that kind of strategic stuff.
All right. Let's move into our next section, which is gonna be, well, actually key problems. So my question to you, Antti, is what are the key problems that businesses usually face when advertising on Meta?
Well, if we think about the past like 2 years, the information flood has been coming through all of the social media platforms, including LinkedIn, Meta as well. But focusing on Meta, usually the clients that have come to me, they have been facing even like bad quality in leads, or even getting 0 leads, or they don't have, or they haven't gotten yet to start with the ads. But if we think about like targeting cases and which platform to choose, usually businesses start with Meta and then go to LinkedIn. But mainly businesses nowadays focus on Meta, as LinkedIn has been becoming much more expensive to advertise on. So mainly the testing can be done within Meta side. And then, well, we could also put further on talk about the targeting side. But well, yeah.
But have you seen that the price has been getting more and more expensive on Facebook? And like, is that, like, let's say if we're focusing on Facebook, not on Instagram and other parts, have you seen that the price per click is getting higher and higher on Facebook?
Yeah, actually, it depends on the accounts that I have set up. Like usually when you put like smaller amounts of budget to the advertising campaigns and you have a new ad account, the CPM and the CPC will be higher. But I have seen multiple cases when the budget start flowing in, that you have like let's say 1 month you have run your ads, the CPM will become much lower, and then the algorithms they will get better results in case of the entire campaigns. Talk about that. But then about the key metrics, we have a chart here that we will talk about the ad types in specific industries. But in my cases, if we talk about like having visual ads, I have seen that the best CTRs that my clients have been having have been ranging to 1.5 to 3.5. And this actually applies to B2B also, but also for B2C. And usually the cost per lead from ads that work the way these are, the cost per validated lead has been around few to even €8. And if your ads are not performing that well, the cost per validated lead will be getting higher, and it can be at the beginning of the campaigns once you get them running. And if we talk about the search ads, then the CTRs, they are pretty good on the B2C side. We talk about, let's say, an insurance company, and you're looking for people searching for like car insurances. Those are the good CTR rates of having good, well-built search ads. And then, in these cases, the LTVs are above €10,000 as these companies are charging the insurance. And then the validated lead is actually like the first marketing funnel has been gone through. Usually the lead price that we get out of the form itself, once the lead applies the information to the form, those are likely around few euros for the price. But then when the sales takes it forward, usually there's some slight drop. So the price range is about 10 to 20 euros usually within that range.
On maybe a bit more on the B2C side, because like if I would get a lead for service form for €2, I would put all of our ad budget and sales budget into the leads, and we would get hundreds of thousands of leads, and then Alex closes at 37%. So we would have like $1 billion revenue next month. So I think on the B2B side, of course, the lead costs go much, much higher.
Yeah, usually like per validated lead, it will be like tens of euros. And for search ads, usually the best way is to use brand advertising on the first steps once you start running. But then when you recognize that there are searches for your business or your products, then it's a different game.
Yeah,
totally. But also about the catalog ads, like e-commerces are using them. So like good CTRs for the biggest e-commerce clients I've been handling, they are like 15 to 25%. The LTVs are then much lower, but also the advertising budgets are tens of thousands of euros per month, and the cost per leads are like a few euros as well. Even can be lower than €7. We have had some good months once the sales are ramping up, like summertime or peaks of the season. They will go to a few euros or even lower.
Have you seen any other than e-commerce companies use catalog ads?
Also companies doing hospitality, the airlines as well, they are using catalog ads for promoting flights and also hotel rooms, other stuff. And probably some like event companies have been doing for the event marketing.
Yeah, and from like our experience, we have seen also lots of real estate and automotive customers. They are also jumping into that wagon. So the results with catalog ads have been quite nice. And the nice thing is that you don't need to create the content all the time. How are you actually, Antti? For your customers, how are you creating the catalog ad? Are you just like taking the JSON out of the web shop and putting it up, or do you have?
Yeah, we are using the data feeds that we are running into the ads themselves, and then the algorithm is doing its job within the ad side.
What about question to you, Antti, as well? I'm curious, like visual ads, what would you say makes a good visual ad? Like, is it simplicity that's the key, or should it be futuristic, advanced, cool looking, or what is the theme that usually works that you have seen?
Usually, having the brand stuff built well, having the right colors, but then having the eye-catching stuff there. And we have seen multiple cases that we have been comparing that if you have a person in the ad, it works way better than without a person in the ad, because it's a human way that, you see a person that is jaw-dropping and seeing some cool stuff, and then you start clicking on those. Those work well, especially this for the e-com cases that we have been testing out, but also applies for B2B as well, having calm structure, but also if there are certain types of customers you want to target with the ad visuals, you could have a person looking for something, or he's looking overwhelmed, or you just need to catch the attention by that way. And it depends on the product or service you're promoting.
Yeah, maybe from my side to that, let's say that you're a plumbing business. I don't think you should go away from being a plumbing business, but it would be very nice for me if I'm looking for something like this, that I see an ad where the guy, who's gonna do the plumbing has their face and says, I will do your plumbing, and then I click. Something that's relevant. It doesn't need to be always beautiful, but then it needs to be solving the problem that you have, and that you get that human connection. And those kind of ads have worked very well. What we do usually, in our webinar ads, for example, we put faces and we say that we are going to talk about this. And for those we have seen the conversion rates are 3-4 times higher than just generic text.
Yeah, probably the reason is also the trustworthiness when it comes to having person.
Yeah.
If you're selling those kind of services.
And people also detect quite easily if it's a stock photo. We automatically see when you look at a photo, we are automatically is this a stock photo, or big companies do a lot of these ads which I see and I'm just scrolling by because it doesn't look personal in any way. So it's very nice to not be too clean, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I completely agree, and it's the same when it comes to sales. It's people to people end of the day. And show your people, be proud. Usually works pretty good. Okay.
And also, one thing I want to just mention is that you shouldn't have too many stuff on the ad visual as well. Few things on sentences or words, and then some symbols and the person itself would be enough.
Mm-hmm. And now we're kind of bridging in on this topic already. The next point we're gonna talk about is how do you manage to stand out in this day, and actually get people to click your ads, because there are so many. How do you actually stand out?
Which one was which one was this to me or Antti?
Antti can take this one.
Yeah, well, when it comes to if you start with B2B ads, it's usually about the first thing is the big hook, want to try out. You have something as a USP and you want to try it in the ads. That's the first thing you need to show to the customer. Then if we think about, you are using a set of ads, a set of carousel ads, you need to have social proof as well, telling how does your product work, and then on the end side you need to tell what you are going to offer the potential customer. And then from that point moving on to the B2C side, usually standing out, it requires that the buyer has the need for it, of course, but then presenting that out personally, and within the cases I have seen, the more let's say humoristic the ads are, or eye-catching in a way that they stand out with colors and the positioning of the ad itself, positioning the person that is in the ad, the better they work in a sense. But yeah, that's pretty much it on my side. But Jarkko, do you have also any insights?
I agree on all of the above, but maybe one thing I'd like to, which is more a tactical thing, which we have been running also, where Facebook gives you very nice tools for A/B testing. So if you have like 2 great offers, but you don't know which your customers will like, you can run both of them, and then you can see which one is better. And then you take that one, and then you do 2. And then out of that one, and then your offer and CTR ideally improves over time. But of course, that requires a lot of work and a lot of testing. And but we did that for like 16 iterations, and we got to some nice end results. But it requires a lot of work. But that was one way of trying to find that ad that really stands out. And the nice thing is you can do with A/B testing, you can try a completely different angle for the same customer. You can show like one with a face and one with like a product, for example, and you can see which one is acting more out. And that was very interesting and interesting test for us.
Yeah. And that's also probably one of the better ways to do A/B testing, that you have some, like really big differences when you're testing.
Yeah, but exactly, like when you start, you should already have a good offer, and you should have the branding and colors in place, and then you can start from that. Yeah.
And also you can do the A/B testing without the A/B testing tool in Meta. You can run campaigns within like certain purposes. Let's say one is with a person and the other one is like with an animal or something funny on the ad itself. Or then on the offer side, you can also do tailoring on the offers themselves and then compare them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I've seen also there on the scheduling of them. You can have them like run in other months. Like you don't need to run them all on the same time. Time can vary as well.
It might be actually interesting to try at some point to try A/B testing through a catalog ads. I'm just getting into a tangent, but it might be very interesting to do something like programmatical A/B testing automatically done and then running it through the catalog system. But yeah, okay, tangent.
But Jarkko, question to you: if you manage to stand out with your meta ads, what would you say are some good tools that you can use to get the maximum out of that result conversion wise?
Yes, so it depends on where the customer goes from. I think slides are going the wrong way, but yes, so I would think if you have a meta ad or an Instagram ad and the person clicks on it, and they will either land on, let's say they land on your WhatsApp. That's one option. They can land on your Facebook, like a lead form, which is also works very well for some cases, let's say webinar signups, or they can land on your website. And in all of these, it's very important that the messaging of your conversion page matches the ad in some way. So that is like classic Google Ads thing, that your Google ad needs to match your landing page. So same thing in Meta, that the ads needs to match the landing page. Let's say that you're clicking on a catalog ad and it takes you from this car to another car. Of course, you'll get mad and you'll go away. But so you're expecting it to be there. And then you want it to be as easy as possible for the customer to leave the smallest amount of information first, because you want the highest amount of leads and you don't want to qualify them too much. You can qualify them later in the journey, but first step you want to do is you want to get the least amount of information that is enough for you. So either an email or a phone number, or even a business name. Sometimes business name is enough for B2B, that you get the business name and then your sales can go hunt the persons down. And also on your website, you can install tools like Lead Feeder or Service Form, or all of these things that let you get also the businesses that have visited your website without them actually leaving their contact details. Of course, those don't always work, but they give you some vibe. Like Lead Info, I think, is another one. There's a couple of other ones which allow you to get like B2B leads, business names, without them actually leaving their contact details. But a lot of people want the perfect lead and they don't want the poor lead. And I would try to tell first to get all of the leads, and then you can start narrowing down the value. Because it's the worst thing you can do in Meta Ads is that you put a 50K budget per month and then you get 0 leads. But rather you get 50K budget and you get 2,000 bad quality leads where you can start digging into them. And I know a lot of people who want the perfect lead with the perfect contact details. So that's my main thing. And basically make it easy for the customer to get in touch and make the page match the offer.
Yeah, that's a super good point. And I think many people in general forget that, they try to make it easy for them, but they don't make it that easy for the customer.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, what we notice all the time when we work with dealerships or real estate agencies. It's a pretty common theme that you forget that you build the website for your customers, not yourself.
Yeah, you don't need to always make sure that the lead always goes to the exact right place in the exact right box in your CRM, which you can do, but you don't always need to have that. And you can have that also as like a fallback. That first it goes to, if they don't go through the flow, the lead just comes, and then they go deeper.
Right. And yeah, also, hey, what comes to having bad leads, that I've seen multiple business owners having the hypothesis that, well, you should know who your ICP is, but once you're getting the first leads through ads and you start digging them, you really get to know that why they have been interacting with your ads and downloading, or how they even became a sale lead. And also for the Meta side, I've seen that Meta has been doing it so that they want to keep all their users on the platform. So especially for the prospecting ads, using the forms themselves, they usually work the best in case of if you look about the cost per lead. But what comes to having the ads directed to the website, usually the cost per conversions are higher, and that is due to the Meta thing that they want to keep their users on the platform themselves. But for my tactics, what I recommend doing is to have usually the website directing is through the retargeting set up. Like if you're starting your ads with the websites and also combined with the interactive forms.
Yeah, maybe one nice thing there is with the forms also you can ask for very little information and Facebook pre-fills it. For example, phone number, then you submit. And what you can do after is you can send them a campaign, or you can retarget them. Or it's not all about just getting that full lead at once. Least amount of friction.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. And just a reminder to everybody tuning in, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. All right, I think we're going to move to the next topic, which is going to be a bit more about privacy and the rules regarding, there's been some changes when it comes to privacy, and there are some restrictions you have to follow, especially when it comes to, collecting data. How do you make sure you respect the audience's privacy these days, and what do you have to think about?
I will say a very quick answer to this, that I have made 2 webinars on this topic. One is on the AI Act, which is coming in EU, and another one on GDPR itself. So if you want to go deep, you can dig into those. But the main takeaway from this lead generation wise is that main idea is that if a person gives you their contact details for one thing, let's say buying a car or buying a certain product, the idea is that you should only use that lead for the same purpose. So that you shouldn't, if I'm looking for a car, you shouldn't be selling me something completely different. But again, we have these checkboxes where we can sign up for marketing emails and all of that. So just remember that you're getting your people to opt in to a lot of the things that you will be sending them. And the nice thing in the new thing that has come in the last 5 years, which everyone loves, is the cookie banners. We have also made our own cookie banner. So you can also still do retargeting in a powerful way. And 63% of people on average accept all cookies. So retargeting is still powerful and definitely very important part of the marketing funnel. Don't want to go too deep into this, but privacy GDPR has made it more difficult, but everything is still pretty much doable.
Okay. Question to you, Antti, then. How do the restrictions, affect advertisers who do a lot of retargeting, or do you notice any difference there? Anything to think about?
Well, about using the audiences in case of GDPR, I've seen that, in the past few years, there has been, stricting about the what information actual targeting audiences have. So basically, if I tend to use like general audience targeting setup compared with lookalike, and then having interest-based like audiences on the same ad campaign, they usually tend to gather same people so that there aren't that many differences based on my learnings. But what it comes to using these, usually I tend to use them all in the same campaign and then testing out that which work the best. And usually, let's say for B2B cases, the lookalike audiences have been the best for my cases. But then when it comes to having like B2C, it's usually the Advantage Plus is the best audience to run by, because it learns the way they convert what they like. So it's like having the wider data in case of the audiences. But I usually start with them all by testing them on the same campaign and then seeing that what works best.
Okay. But enough about privacy. Let's get to something more fun. And the next step is actually we're going to discuss a bit more about key observations and actual use cases. So let's start off with Antti. We've been discussing a bit about different aspects of advertising, but let's go through some key observations and use cases. Do you have anything, Antti?
Yeah, like first of all, I could start with the B2B side. So we have been during the past year, we have been using carousel ads on Meta. This is for purposing for getting meetings for your sales. They have been working pretty well in case of getting good quality leads. Then also one interesting setup that we have been building out is using Typeform as an interactive tool to looking for, let's say you sell IT services, you sell like software development projects, these like using calculators with Meta and Typeform. That's been working really well, building big sales pipelines, but also like if you are selling like continuous services that your buyers need to calculate the price, that has been working pretty well. And we have been also comparing that by using like landing pages and the Typeform tool itself, and so far the Typeform has outperformed like in a huge blast over the thing. But also what I could say for the B2C side, in case of meta advertising, probably the best thing that I've learned in case of the last year has been that you shouldn't have that many ad groups in one campaign, because once you go into B2C side, having the data inside the campaign shouldn't be split too much. So like having maximum of like 4 to 5 ad groups in one campaign is like way to go. This applies for having catalog ads or single image ad, and also for prospecting or retargeting, and whether you are using the interactive forms or web.
Okay. What would be like the simplest and easiest way to start and get going for somebody who hasn't done it before?
Like probably I would start with doing single image ads with the form itself. And well, also it could be applied with the carousel. It depends on the offer, what kind of service you're doing. Like that would be the way to go with. But if we think about that, you are having your product that is like sold through the website and kind of like will B2C or e-commerce. Usually the way to start is to do the single image as well here, but do them also in a way that they stand out. The ads themselves, think about the big promise, the big hook that I mentioned earlier, and use it as much as you can.
All right. What about you, Jarkko? Do you have any simple use cases for people, especially when it comes to the conversion side?
I think a very good idea is to run exactly as Antti was saying, that you run to get started, you run single image ads with a lead form pop-up and get the least amount of information from the customer, and then run some campaigns at them. So run email campaigns and WhatsApp campaigns and retargeting. So that would be the way that I would get going with on the Facebook. Have you, Antti, done Instagram? Like
Yeah.
How is that working?
It's like pretty much equal within Meta and Instagram what we have been trying out. Like not that much of a dispersion in between the platforms. And well, once you're doing the ad campaigns from Meta's platform, you are well told that how these ads are working in the Meta's platform itself, which includes both of them. But like nothing really exact pointing out like which one is better. But also what I want to mention is that you should think about the placement of the ads, what kind of ad you are having and where you're placing it, because once you're running the ads, if the ad isn't compatible with let's say you are having a huge banner and it's going to the Facebook Marketplace, that's not the place. You just outline that in your placement. So like clever thinking in case of placements.
Okay.
It's good to do.
Question to you, Jarkko. Is there anything specific regarding WhatsApp you would recommend doing or not doing?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of WhatsApp. We have a lot of WhatsApp use cases. And one thing we have seen with WhatsApp is when you are doing WhatsApp campaigns. So let's say that you have an audience of, let's say 100 or let's say 1,000. The open rate of WhatsApp messages sent is like insane. So pretty much every single person who gets a WhatsApp campaign from you will see it. The problem is that if they don't want it, they get mad. So you need to make sure that the people that you are WhatsApping to are actually they have been somehow opted in. So we have done a lot of cases also where there has been a WhatsApp campaign and it has been sent to people who have not opted in, and then you get blocked by Meta quite quickly. And the crazy thing here is that, for example, the numbers that are up here, you can see that the audience is smaller than the amount of link clicks, which is very interesting. So a multiple of them clicked many times, and the results were very, very nice that we did. And I know people in this webinar also, if you have given your phone number, you should have received a WhatsApp campaign from us. And that is the thing that we have been recently building excitedly in the back, is that we have been working with exactly doing like a WhatsApp campaign, sort of like email campaigns, but for WhatsApp. And that's been something that we have seen is crazy powerful, as long as you're sending it to the right people at the right time. And it works very well, especially in B2B. And on B2C, you need to be a bit more careful on the messaging that you're sending, because people don't want spam on their WhatsApp, because it's personal messaging channel.
Yeah.
This was a very, very interesting
discovery. Could you give me like a small example on how would you do this for let's say an automotive company?
Someone is interested in a car and they leave their contact details on a car. You can instantly send a WhatsApp message to qualify that person. So would you have a car to sell, all of these things, and you can get that data back. So this is one example. And one example on the B2B side on Meta would be that you fill the lead form, you give your phone, and you instantly get a survey with AI asking you questions. And then the salesperson can come and pick up that. And those are a couple of example use cases. But and of course, SMS works the same way. But the nice thing in WhatsApp is that you can get data and you can do buttons and you can do images, and it's a bit cheaper as well.
Yeah, it's a super interesting tool. And we actually got a question in the chat as well. And I think Antti is the right guy to answer this one. Stuart wants to know if you have any tips on organic reach and how to improve it.
Well, in case of organic reach, it has been also kind of like way to reaching audiences in a slow way. In case of results, but what I have seen like getting the better reach is like that how frequently you are posting out and what kind of content you are placing in. So like the best tactics I have seen that you would use these tools like Social Pilot to run your organic post and so on, and then do the annually planning so that you do the planning for each quarter and then you recycle the content for the next quarter. So you kind of like know automatically to the next one, and then you move on and continue. Of course, we could talk about technical structure of the posts themselves and how to engage people, the deeper discussion. But this is like certain like one way to get better results.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
on the automotive side, there is another new tools, for example, like Firen, that allow you to create automatically good posts from your content, from your car catalog or your property. For property catalogs, there's another tools, and for your e-commerce catalogs, that you can post those automatically as posts as well. That has some effect, but on like if you think yourself, like what kind of content would you like to see from a company like you, I think that's a good way of thinking about the organic side. And also on the organic reach, again, the person is so important because we don't follow brands, but we follow people. So putting some people from your company first and pushing that out and pushing it out from their brand, their personal places as well. Of course, Facebook is a bit personal, but on LinkedIn you can get people a bit more engaged.
And also what comes to LinkedIn is giving out the value, so that whether you are doing a post, you think about that. What is the reason you're doing this? What the recipient getting out of it? That's really important.
All right. Do we have any more questions in the chat? Let's see. Stuart was the last one. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat and we'll take them. Maybe Jarkko has a question to Antti.
We are at 3 to 5 million ARR. How do we get the fastest in B2B with Meta ads to 10 million ARR? What would you do? Very short, no need to go deep.
What would you do? Yeah, well, first of all, I would need to know that what you have been doing so far. It's all start with the audit, like looking at this stuff. But usually what I tend to see within like B2B clients is that you need to know who your customer is. Like in Meta, you need to know how to target them, and then have the proper customer personas built. Like that's the main thing to start with, because I just see too many companies moving on without the proper ICP mapping or documenting.
Yeah, so would you think about your customer and make ads for them?
Yeah, and also like what I would do is what I've seen in B2B is that, well, the buying is going more and more online. We are not needing anymore. Well, we are needing the salespersons on the side, but well, think about that. What things does the salesperson do when they reach out to the cold lead, and then try to think that what are the technical ways you can do those within the advertising platform itself, whether, well, you're using the carousel ads, or I talked about the Typeform, that's a good way to do it as well, and then try to use the pane in the ads and then test out the different methods and see which works the best out.
All right. I think we're running short on time, but if you have any last questions, feel free to write them in the chat.
Maybe from my side, the last, like, to a little bit recap on what we went through. Meta is a good channel. It's a bit changing on who it's targeting, especially Facebook. Facebook is a bit more on the older side of people nowadays, but the younger guys are on Instagram. So the Meta is still a very valid platform. And then that to convert those leads on Meta, you would one idea was from Antti to just use the lead forms. One was to use like a Typeform to gather them out, and then on the website, just make sure your offer matches your offering and make it very easy for people to get in touch. And this has to do with every single industry. If you're in car sales or e-commerce or everything, if you're in e-commerce, make it easy to buy. If you're in car sales, make it easy to leave their phone number, and that's pretty much it. And also remember retargeting, that when the people come to your website, that's not where your ads end. You need to also do the retargeting side. Anything to add, Antti?
Yeah, so like one major thing is to, well, keep like a weekly process to running through the results and also leads that you're getting in. like, because once you're, well, I've seen these silos getting in with the marketing teams, and then they're handling the sales deals. But if they're not working together, it doesn't end up very well for a long time. So running through the results and the leads, they bring the learnings and results to iterate the ads themselves.
All right. And in case you want to go deeper on this topic and know more, you will get a link after the webinar ends, which is, we're already past time, but that's classic me. Yeah, leave your contact details and we'll be in touch, and we can take a look at it a bit deeper when it comes to the conversion part. And yeah, maybe you'll learn something more about conversion. But other than that, I want to thank you, both Jarkko and Antti, for joining today. It has been fun.
It was nice to have a chat.
Yeah, let's do more of these. Okay,
Yes,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
And bye-bye.